So we're just going to leave where the aqueduct was. I'm going to make our way down the line and see what we'll come across. I think it's fair to say that we got our head around how those junctions worked at the start of the line. We did start to get confused, but we checked the maps, and I think we've kind of nailed it on the head. Well, at least I hope we have anyway. So we're going to head down the line and see what we'll come across. Now, where we're walking is more of a tarmacked area of the line, so there's not much in terms of railway relics. We do have a pond just to the right of us here. And then you've got the river to the left. A public walkway off the line down there. Another nice shot of the river there. So we're coming up to a spot where there used to be a bridge. Now there is a bridge still there, however it's not the original, so it's a more modern one, so we'll show you that when we get there. So we've got a couple of remaining boundary markers that have fallen over. Like I said, there's nothing much to document in terms of relics, but there's a couple of boundary markers there. And then, like I said, we're coming up to that bridge. Got a couple of horse mounts around here, so I think these are for mounting horses and jumping off. There's one at either side of the bridge. So we've reached this bridge that's on Old Tannery Road. Now you can just see how, like I say, it's not the original, far from. It's fairly new. And I'm not sure when it was built. It feels like solid concrete. It's been painted grey with some graffiti. And then the track bed would have carried on more straight here, because there is still some remains of the track bed that's still left. So our track bed would have continued through that bridge, and now there is a small disused section that runs towards a new, well, I think this is Wicks. So we're just going to have a little look at what we can find on this disused section of the track bed. If we just take a little venture out of the car park, and you can just see this overgrown section, and this was our track bed, and there's the car park, that bridge back there. And if we just take a little walk through these nettles, there's not major remains left, but potentially a couple of railway relics here. I'm not sure, this definitely is railway related. You can see some metal on top. If you do know what that is, please leave a comment in the box. There's something else there as well. And if we just take a little venture back, you can see where the track bed would have carried on through that bridge. There's nothing in terms of any railway memorabilia left. Maybe a boundary marker just on the left here. And then there's just something, I'm not sure what that is, if that's railway related. Our track bed would have continued down this way. The line carried on through where this Wicks industrial estate is, and it's going to bring us to where an Infilled bridge was. Now we have found the other side of the bridge, and one side is literally just been obliterated. Our track bed would have followed through here, somewhere through where Wicks is built on now. Now this section of the line looks like it's just completely well, it's like a little grassed area, but you wouldn't believe that under here there would have been a bridge, and the bridge would have been around here. So it'd have been a short bridge, and this has literally just been totally overvamped. And you would have had the bridge arch somewhere under here, but it's literally all been filled in and grassed over. Now you can actually see the remains of the bridge at the other side because it's bricked up. So currently on Old Mill Lane, so I've just shown you where I think that bridge would have crossed underneath. So it's quite a busy road this. But if you just take a look here, you've got here an old railway sign, so BRB 00, I'm not sure what that stands for. So this was the site of the Old Mill Lane goods siding. You could just see that red building over in the distance there was an old goods shed. Now if you just take a little look down here, this was our track bed, and as I told you about that bridge on the other side, you can just see down there where the top of the bridge arch is. You can see there's some stones that have been put there to block the bridge up. So I'm guessing that all this has been filled in. See the brick arch there, the stones that are filled in, and I'm guessing that underneath will still be there, but literally the line would have crossed underneath where I showed you, following here and then carrying on that way. Just over there you can see what remains of the goods shed. Currently I think it's being used as a builder's merchant, so I'm not too sure, but this was what was once the old sidings. So we're going to head on now, because we're going to have to miss some more of the line, because it is built on private land and it's covered with industrial estates. So we're going to find our way back onto the track bed where we're going to come towards some more bridges. So we're just on Smithy's Lane. So this is Smithy's Lane. Our track bed would have carried on behind this used garage, and we're going to find our way back onto the track bed. Our track bed would have headed through from the industrial estate through a residential area, and now we're back onto the track bed. So this is now a permissive bridleway that takes us back onto the Barnsley Coal Railway. So just to look back at the track bed, when you can see it's all grown over here and it will have been filled in. Obviously there's a residential area here, and our track bed must have come this way. You can see it's all overgrown, but part of it has been tarmacked. Now I do believe that here it did split into about 4 lines. There is a bridge, or there's 2 bridges, with one that's still there and one that's been demolished, which I'm going to show you. So we've just come to this bridge. So it looks like it's made out of brick. Got some coping stones on the top, and then half of it is like old steel, clearly covered in graffiti. The Smithy's Lane runs right underneath the bridge. So if I just take you to the other side, down here would have been another line or some sort of sidings. You can see there a little bit of movement in the structure, which looks like it was made out of red brick covered in blue paint. I think another bridge ran across the top here, because you can see a bit more track bed there where it's all fenced off. You can see here where the track bed was. So I'm guessing that some lines ran down this way, and half of it has been converted into the walkway. as we head off towards New Lodge and Staincross, we're coming up to a bridge. So I'm just going to take a little look at the structure. So I'm just going to take a little walk off the track bed. So we've just headed off the track bed. We'll come to this bridge. It's always worth having a little look at something like this. You can tell no one comes down here. It has been fenced off on the other side, so I think this maybe was a farmer's access, or is a farmer's access, or was. It's got some stone bases with red and blue brick, I think. Again, all this graffiti cannot be left alone, can it? You've got the coping stones at the top, and this bridge is like, say, with the other ones, you can clearly tell the original one was demolished. And it's been replaced with, it looks like a wooden bridge with some steel on it, or was it steel with wood? See these little bits of movement in the brickwork. I don't see any dangers with that. So I've just headed off the track bed, so that's the embankment going up towards New Lodge. I've just taken a little walk onto this side path off the track, and Johnny's found a culvert, so let's have a look. Is it still operating?
Water in it.
There's water in it, yeah. And there it is. So it's slightly running. You can see a little drainage channel down into another hole there, but it doesn't look very operational, so it's not maintained at all. You can see the channel, and I'm not going to go down there and break my neck to see how far it goes, but it does run under the line. You can see the damaged coping stone and the red brick. So our railway embankment carries on up here, and we found these two bridges. Looks like stone bridges. One's been slightly filled in. And it looks like they are built out of stone bases with some red brick underneath, and again, not escaping the graffiti. Well, this is the one adjacent, and again I think this is, people have been having fires around here. So it looks like some kind of farmer's access potentially. Just another shot from the other side. You can tell that gate's been there for ages because it's rusted. But it's worth to come down and have a little look at these bridges. I like the arches at the top of the old stone. It's like there's a hole up there which was some old pipe. So a pretty good structure this, I like the look of it. Now somewhere just off the track bed, apparently there was a colliery called the Colliery. Now Johnny's just disappeared down here somewhere, and he said he's found what he thinks remains of the colliery, so I need to find where he's gone. I don't even know where he's gone. Whoop. So that's our trap bed there. I'm just going to take a little venture off the trap bed, and wow, I think this is what he means. Now, wow, that looks like a derelict structure, but is this what John is referring to as the Colliery? Now, I think it might be wise to say maybe stay away, because you just never know. Johnny will probably tell me more now, but I am not going anywhere near that because it looks like, well, it looks dangerous. It looks, I don't know how it's still standing, to be honest. So we've got a few remains down here with some red brick, and I'm not sure what this probably was. It will have been some kind of room. This is a angle from the other side. God, that is massive. Talk about 40 or 50 feet, that. And I think all this is a pile of rubble remaining from this building, whatever this was. So just having a look there, you can see the arch, which looked like was the potential doorway in. You can see it's damaged there, but you can see the bricked up arch. Like I say, I'm going nowhere near that thing because it looks dangerous as hell, and it even has a keep out sign, so I'm surprised it's actually not fenced off around it. It should be, in my eyes. So headed back onto the track bed, and I've just stood over those bridges that I was talking about before. I'd lost Johnny when he went to find the colliery. Well, he's just mentioned that the two bridges, one was apparently for a tramway, and underneath here there would have obviously been a ventilation for the upshaft. So approaching New Lodge, and funnily enough, my mum grew up in this area, and she says to me that she remembers running off the estate and coming down to watch the trains. So I'm wondering if this was round about where she used to come down. So Mum, please leave a comment in the box. So you can see the track bed. Looks like it's been, it would have been at a lower level. Now, because it's been converted into this tarmacked area. Now this has only recently been done in the last few years, so I've heard. But our track bed would have ran down this way. Probably in like a, well, I think this is an embankment actually, which ran into a cutting, because there is a bridge that we're going to be coming towards, which will then lead towards our first railway station, would you believe, on the line, which was Staincross Railway Station. Now you can see here just how much this area has been revamped. We would have had a cutting, I think, down here, which has literally been filled in. And it's overgrown. And you can see how the earth has been pumped in, because we're going more into an incline, because as we come to this bridge just before the Staincross Railway Station, the earth is at a very high level, because you can see where the bridge is lowered down. Again, we're just having a look at the infilled area, and literally just overgrown, and it was, well, I think it was a cutting. We're now coming up towards that bridge just before the Staincross Railway Station, and I think that's where we're going to conclude this first part. A bit sludgy on this pit, but yeah, you can see this mound here is the top of the infill cutting. There must have been absolutely loads and loads and loads, heaps of spoil that was pumped in to fill this cutting in. You've got a little walkway at the side there where they've levelled out the ground and converted that part into the cycleway, the walkway. Now what I'm looking at here is a potential site of where the top of the cutting was. You can just see that bridge that we're about to encounter. So that's looking back towards where we've been. And I'm coming out of where the cutting would have carried on towards this bridge and towards Staincross Railway Station. Now, up until a few years ago, apparently, Johnny tells me, and if you've watched his video on this line, you'll have seen that this was literally all just a mud bath. It was overgrown. And this is that bridge that I've been referring to. Now you can see how half of it has been filled in, so you can tell how low the track bed would have been. So if we get closer to it, you can see these wing walls, and it's got a nice stone base, stone masonry. And yeah, potentially it would have been a stone base anyway, because majority of the bottom of it's been filled in. And this red brick arch underneath, where you can see there's a lot of loose masonry and an old pipe. But you can literally see here how low the track bed would have been. And there's still a lot of soot that's on the roof of the bridge, and a bit of calcite deposit that runs down the bridge. A little bit of damage there, nothing too dangerous. And we're at the other side of the bridge, again with the stone wing walls. And that's just a view back to where we've just walked. Now you learn something new every day. Now Johnny noticed that there's a skew in the bridge here. Now the road above us has got a bend. Now you'll notice that this side of the bridge is a lot shorter because of the bend. So this skew here has been extended on this side to allow the curve around the road. Now I'm going to conclude the video today. Now I'm not sure how many parts that is going to take, so maybe 1, 2 or 3, but you'll see anyway. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to conclude the video for today. I'm going to start the next part of the venture from where we're at now, which is Staincross Railway Station, which was the first site, which was the first station on the railway line. So there was 3 railway stations. Staincross was the first one. So we're going to start the next part of the video at Staincross Station. So a big thank you from myself and Wet Dog.
Bye, see you later.
And I'll see you again for the next part. Take care. Bye bye.